All right, everybody. This is Steven Butler again, coming at you with a new video. And when I say new, I literally mean new because I've never done a video like this. What you see before you is a box I got in the mail today. It is a package I've been really looking forward to getting in the mail. Inside it is a book that I ordered from a company called thriftbooks.com, which has turned into here lately. I've just really found out about them this past year, and they have quickly become my favorite go-to online bookseller, and really love them. If you're a reader like I am and you like to read esoteric stuff that you just can't find anywhere else, except maybe if you look up on something in an old bookstore somewhere, an old used bookstore somewhere, then thriftbooks.com is the place for you. I found it and fell in love with it. And this package here represents something I've been actually, I didn't really even know that these existed. If you've read the description in the video, then you know what's in the package. Inside this package is a Prince Valiant hardback collection. It's the first collection when the strip first started way back in 1937, and these are the new collection of Prince Valiant. I have some, and I'll go ahead and show you the ones that I have already. These were ones that I had back in the, I guess I got them back in the 1990s, I guess. And I have but I don't have all the volumes. I just had whatever I could find in this. I mostly got these from comic book stores back in the 90s. This is a volume 2, volume 6, volume 8, 30. I got volume 9 and volume 10 in here. So, and I really love Prince Valiant. I love it was created by a guy named Harold Foster, or Hal Foster for short. And to me, he is he is probably the very pinnacle of illustrative comic book adventure strip type art, if that makes sense. I would go so far as to say, if there would not have been a Harold Foster doing his Prince Valiant long strip, he did it for like 40 years, from like 1937 to sometime in the 70s, when he passed the torch on to the next guy, John Cullen Murphy, to come after him. But he produced this huge volume of work, and it was so good from start to finish. There was no he didn't fake anything. He didn't take the easy way out in doing anything. Everything that he put in these books was a labor of love. I'll show you just a few of the pages in here, and these are big books too. You can see this is my hand. This is kind of like what we would call in the 70s a treasury sized edition, but these are paperback books put out by Fantagraphics, and I loved them. But I heard that this new series that's coming out now in hardback, which reprints all of the same material, that it was shot, all of the pages inside were shot from prints, or not prints, but I guess from proofs or negatives or whatever that were in Hal Foster's own collection from his home, and that the reproduction on the pages are superior to what I just showed you here. Really quick, before I show you, before I do the unboxing, I want to show you this other book that led into Prince Valiant, and that was this. Harold Foster did the Tarzan comic, and this book is put out by another company called Flying Buttress, but this was his work that he did, and basically what put him on the map, to get him noticed, for him to be able to pitch his own project, which was Prince Valiant, so he could be in control of the entire thing. He didn't own Tarzan; that was an Edgar Rice Burroughs thing. He was just the hired hand to draw on it. But whenever he took over Prince Valiant, he had total control over everything that he did, and B, it was a genre he loved and knew a lot about, and boy, it really showed in his work. But this Tarzan stuff, man, it's nothing to sneeze at. Earlier on, I was going to say that if we wouldn't have had Hal Foster, then we most likely would never have had Frank Frazetta or an Al Williamson or a lot of the other Reed Crandall, Lou Fine, all of these other Wally Wood, all of these other comic book artists that are held in such high esteem. This guy right here was the granddaddy of them all, you could just get a lot. These, to me, these are. Just again, I feel like I'm overstating it, but I'm not, because this is the way I really feel. These are like the pinnacle of comic book art to me, of illustrative adventure strip art. And even in this Tarzan thing, I think that it must be toward the end of his Tarzan run, because he encounters like a lost tribe of Vikings in this story here. And I think what was really going on behind the scenes in this story is he was kind of conducting his own like dry run or his own test drive or whatever for a future Prince Valiant pitch that he was going to make, because you see a lot of what he would do later on in the Prince Valiant strip in these Tarzan strips. I guess I could look at the date on these and see when it was, because I know he started. Well, this is in 1935, and I know he started Prince Valiant in 37, I believe. So it could very well be that this was his testing the waters, I guess, for a Prince Valiant strip. Anyway, so much for looking at that old stuff. Let's get into the unboxing, guys. This is the first time I've done anything like this. I'm going to see if I can open this without a knife, because I like the packaging on this, and I'm cheap, and I could probably use this for my own packaging for artwork for later on. Looks like I'm going to be able to open it without any problem. All right, there's that part. Oh yeah, really easy. This is the this is my receipt, so I'll keep that for taxes. This is research material. Anyway, here's the book. Oh wow, it's huge. Let me put the old one against it. Well, it's a little bit larger. Let me get out my handy dandy ruler here and see how actually big it is. So we've got, this looks to be 10 and a half, 10 and a quarter, something like that. I'm probably taking up too much. Yeah, about 10 and a quarter wide by, let's see, by like 14 and a quarter lengthwise. So that's pretty big, but I don't think that this is anywhere near the size that he did the actual comic strips on. I think that they were at least double this size. I remember being out in San Diego at the San Diego Comic-Con one time, and there was an art dealer there, and he had a lot of art there, but he had a Hal Foster Prince Valiant page like framed and hanging behind him, and man, that stopped me in my tracks, and I just stared at that thing, and how big it was. It was huge, and I was like scratching my head trying to figure out how in the world did they print that. It seems like he had done it on, it wasn't one sheet, but it was a bunch of like all the panels were on their own sheet, and they were glued or stuck to this big huge board that was holding them together. And he did this every week. I read somewhere that he spent like 50 hours on each Sunday page. And guys, I can tell by looking at this cover already, and I haven't even opened the book yet, but I can tell by looking at this cover that this is the superior. This is the superior printing to these that I showed before. All right, I'm gonna open it up and see what we have here. This is also by Fantagraphic Books, but it's their newer stuff. And this was from again, this is from thriftbooks.com, which is a used bookstore basically. And this one was, I think they said that it was in good or fine condition or whatever, and hey, it works for me. It looks really good to my eyes. Very good. This was printed in 2009, and I think they've printed all of them. This is actually the volume 1. So inside here is stuff I've never even seen before, which starts out the Prince Valiant strip. All right, Harold Rudolph Foster, born in 1892, and he died in 1982. Prince Valiant started in 1937, so that would have made him in his 40s whenever wow, holy mackerel. He was in his 40s whenever he started Prince Valiant. I guess he was doing the Tarzan stuff whenever he was in his 30s. I'm 56 myself, and I'm trying to think of what I was doing in my 40s. I was still working for Archie Comics, doing the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. Just as a comparison, not saying I'm anywhere near where Foster was at his time, but just for comparison's sake, this is going to be really cool. This is an interview with him. This is going to be really cool stuff. I love to read the background of my art heroes, and this is a little bit of talking about his Tarzan stuff. Oh my gosh, there's the first Prince Valiant Sunday page, and it is a doozy. 12 panels, and they're all squares. See how everything is done in a square to make up one, but it's easy to follow. You can tell what's going on. He still gives long shots, mid shots. I don't see any real close-ups here, but it's easy to tell what's going on. Another thing that he did not use word balloons. Everything was told in captions, and it kind of gives it a different quality, almost like an illustrated book. That's kind of what it looks like. And imagine, I think they were even bigger than this whenever they were printed in the newspapers. And I've heard of stories about, older people that read these as kids would say, I got down on the floor to read this, and I could stretch out, and still, it covered my body, covered the whole page. That's how big it was, and it was like I don't know, an early form of big screen TV, I guess. But anyway, yeah, these are very cool. Oh wow. He was a master of inking, and all of this. He was like a researcher as well. He did a lot of hunting, fishing. He was a Canadian, I think, and then he became a citizen of the United States. I think he moved to Chicago. But I think he was born in Nova Scotia, I think. Oh wow, there's a dinosaur in here. Or, well, I guess it's a dinosaur. It looks like a dinosaur of some sort. Very cool. I didn't know that. I thought Prince Valiant was more rooted in like reality or whatever, but this is definitely got fantasy elements in it. I know I'm going to love this. See this right here? I've seen that. Somebody copied that on a cover. It was either a Warren magazine cover, like a Creepy or Eerie, or it was, what was that Warren competitor, Skywald. It might have been a Skywald cover, but I remember that pose right there. So people in Frazetta it could even have copied that. Every generation that comes after the previous one always looks to that previous generation to copy their work or whatever inspired them. I will have to admit I'm not above it. Whatever works. Man, look at that use of light and shadow there. That is amazing. That is so cool, guys. This is what cranks my tractor. This is what fires me up. This is what inspires me to see stuff like this. Look at this fight scene. It's just boom, 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 boom. It's just that's how it's done. This is just great stuff. Okay, oh, look at this. This is a giant alligator, or crocodile, I guess. This looks really, really awesome. Look at that. Wow. I've seen Wally Wood do similar stuff like this, but this is the source that he was looking at whenever he did that. Thing about it was, Wally was probably a kid whenever he read this in the actual newspaper. A lot of times I've heard people that would read these in the newspaper, they would cut them out and then they would save them, and they would have the strip for years and years. And sadly, I was born too late to do that, and this is my initial. This is his costume, or his uniform, whatever. This is what he's known for: the dragon, not dragon, the horse head against his blue tunic. That's pretty much how you know Prince Valiant. Very cool stuff. I can't recommend this to you more. If you guys like a classic artwork. Some people say, "Oh, that's your grandpappy's work." That's not exciting. Give me Jim Lee, give me Rob Liefeld. Well, I'm not going to knock them either. They're fine. But for me personally, this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited and makes me want to strive to do better all the time. This is like something to aspire to. Maybe I should put it that way. This is just, oh my God! Would you look at that? Oh wow. See, I told you he would break, none of these pages are the same. He would break them up in totally different ways. He started off with the grid, the 12 panels, but look at this. Look how he had to write down number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 to give you the direction of where to go, because your eye would normally go from here to here. But he wanted you to go from here to here and then to here. Good. Would you look at this? I guess he's escaping out the window. Yeah. They got him hemmed in on both sides, and so he escaped, jumping out the window. Got the doves or whatever stirred up, and now they're going after him, letting down the drawbridge. Man, this is good stuff. Wow, really cool. Get him underwater. He's using a reed to breathe. How many times has that been used after that? This might be one of the first times it was used like that. Used color in an effective way. These have no holding lines in them, but they're really effective. It is amazing. Did he kill that dude? No, he found him dead, and the guy's pointing in a direction. Huh. Crazy. Oh, wow. It's a joust. How long? 50 hours, they said, on average, to create one of these. I can imagine him spending days just on this. All these little guys in the background, they're all doing something. They're not just standing there. Look, this guy's pointing here. This guy right here. They're all. It seems like they all have stories to tell. I'm assuming that this is King Arthur right here, and he's coming up to present this wounded guy to the king, and they're out doing they're stirring up dust, but you still see all the stuff that's behind them. Man, that's storytelling. That's an eye for storytelling. It's amazing. Okay, that's a famous shot. I've seen that before on something, but that's a famous shot of Valiant there. Wow, guys, this is so cool. Look at that. Holy mackerel. This is amazing. All right, now we're getting into this story, and I'm going to leave it with this, but I've got to get this in. This is the story of where he meets the ogre that's guarding. I think he's going to rescue. Somebody got kidnapped. A bunch of people got kidnapped, I think, and he's been tasked to go and rescue them out of the dungeon of the ogre of Sin Star Woods or something like that. And this is where he sees the ogre for the first time, and he said, I think that there's something else going on here. He looks a little bit too theatrical, and it gives him an idea. So he catches a goose, and let's see, he goes up he forms these logs to go up to scale the wall. And then he skins the goose and makes a mask out of it. And he pulls the mask over over his face, and you look at it and like, oh, I know who that is. And then he pretends that he's a demon, and he comes in and scares the ogre to literally to death. And then he goes in and he scares everybody else. But here, I'm gonna turn the page because I know where it's going. Look at that. Anybody that's a comic book fan will know where that or at least will say, hey, I know that character. It's because much later than this, hang on just a second, I'm going to get it because I actually have the book here. Much later, after this Prince Valiant book was, or this strip was done, there was a little kid that saw this strip and was highly influenced by it, and that little kid's name was Jack Kirby, who grew up and well, actually, I don't guess Jack Kirby was a kid then. He would have been a teenager or a young adult by that time. But it influenced him enough that years later he created his own character based on this character that he saw in Prince Valiant. And his character was Etrigan the Demon. He was based on this character in Prince Valiant. So this character here, even though he was used just as like a MacGuffin, a joke type thing in this Prince Valiant story, he got a lot of mileage. So inspiring another generation to create, and then that generation inspired another generation, and here we are today looking at this, going all the way back to the, well, not the beginning, but the beginning of the comic book or the comic strip time period. Oh, this is one of the things I wanted to do. Inside this book here is this sequence, and I want to compare the two and see what they look like. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, I can already tell that the coloring is different, and yeah, look at this. Look at this drawing here as opposed to this. You can't even see, this is like a silhouette in here, and in this you see all the folds and everything of his cape. So yeah, the printing is definitely more true to the original here than it is here. I have a little bit of deterioration here, even though this isn't bad at all. But you probably wouldn't be able to tell any difference. I mean, you wouldn't be able to know any difference had you not seen this, or to have this to compare to this. But now that I do, you know, I definitely, I don't know, I like both of them pretty well. But anyway, just wanted to compare the two so you could see. So anyway, this continues on. This thing is big. I'm only like halfway through the book, but I'm just going to flip on a little more. This stuff I've seen because it's in that other book that I was talking about. But yeah, the look at these guys. They look like they come straight out of Lord of the Rings. See these guys right here. Like, he comes and blows a horn, and these guys come and get him, and they all look like orcs and stuff from Lord of the Rings. Very cool. Oh wow! Look, he's having a nightmare. I think the Morgan Le Fay put the whammy on him. Wow, look at that. It's a hawk catching a bird. Pheasant. No, not a pheasant. What is that? Quail. Let's just say he catches a bird. Okay, I don't know. It looks like the tables have turned, and now Morgan Le Fay is having nightmares. Awesome. Whoa. Okay, Wallywood, I see where you got it from right there. I've seen Wallywood do that kind of thing where arms are coming out of brick walls and stuff like that. Straight up got it from Hal Foster. Wow. Guys, I'm in amazement right now. This is some of the most awesome stuff I think I've ever seen. So it's good that I chose this to be my first unboxing video. Oh gosh. Okay, this is probably my favorite page. It's going to be hard to pull this up, but this is where he's like fighting off all these Vikings and barbarian hordes on this bridge, and he's taking them all out. Guys falling in the water. These guys fell in, but I don't think they want any more of him. This is where he first uses his famous blade, not Excalibur, but it's called the Singing Sword. And I don't know if it really like hummed or sang whenever he used it, but it flat sure cut. It cut through some metal, bone, everything. There was a lot of killing going on in these old comics. This is awesome. All right, guys, I guess I'm coming to the end of the video, but I just wanted to show you the kind of stuff that I really like. Most of the time I've spent doing these videos drawing for you, but this time I wanted to show you, hey, this is the kind of stuff that I like. Might not be to everybody's taste, but to me, this is what gets me going. This is what makes me go, hey, I want to do something like that. And I just get a lot of inspiration from it. So I am going to have plenty of hours. Look at that. Holy mackerel. That is awesome. Man. Makes me want to watch the 1950s Prince Valiant movie again. The one with young Robert Wagner with his Prince Valiant hairdo. This just looks really cool. I think that's his dad. I think he comes from a country in Scandinavia, close to like Norway, called Thule or Thule. It's spelled Thule. I've heard it pronounced Thule, but it looks like phonetically it would be called Thule. I'm not sure. It can be whatever you want it to be, I guess. It's in a comic strip, in comic strip form. All right, that is it. That's the end of the book. I highly recommend it if you like fantasy artwork, if you like classic comic style storytelling, if you like adventure strips, if you're just into good storytelling and good clear classic art, then I think that this is the book series for you. At least I highly recommend it. I really enjoy it myself, and I am looking forward to digging into this book and absorbing it into my pores, so I can then go forth and do my own thing with extra fire in my belly, I guess would be the best way to say it. All right, enough rambling. I'm going to go ahead and go. Tell me if you like this kind of video, and I'll do more. And then, you know, we'll do some more like this if you like it. If not, I'll just continue to do my drawing videos. Maybe I'll do a mix of both. Who knows? Anyway, really enjoyed doing this and hope to be seeing you guys again really soon. Have a good one. Take care. Like, share, and subscribe to my video channel as I'm trying to grow it. And tell your friends about it. And we will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.